this week? Oh, Colin. Hey, you going kiteboarding this week?
Yeah. How you doing?
I was gonna see if you could take me out sometime.
I'd like to.
Yeah?
I'm not doing it right now.
Well, obviously. One of these weekends, perhaps. My raw bar biz is like flatline, so.
So now you're in a job.
I am.
It's pretty solid.
Yep.
Yep. A lot of movies about it now.
You ever sell that sailboat? Hey, buddy. How you been? Good. Anyone want to put you on this one? Good. Well, getting used to the summer. Yeah. How are you? Good. How's the dirt bike going?
Okay.
Coming there. Oh my God.
Still going?
Leaning over is sort of painful.
Yeah.
Okay, please come to order. This is the 2020 annual town meeting was originally scheduled for a date in April. I think it's been continued 3 times. And so here we are on June 25th, 2020. I'm sorry to see so many of you here, but I do appreciate your participation. Let me just explain how the meeting's going to go. We're not going to have any pomp and circumstance like we do normally at our annual, so I apologize for that. We'll have to make up for it the next time we can have a real meeting. I'm going to go through the articles and read in the revised motion of the Finance Committee on a number of articles that have been deemed essential for town operation. A lot of those changes came as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. Obviously, revenue and expenses are all changing in this. So what we thought, I'm getting there, Mary. I'll do that next. I'll do that next. Okay. So we'll go through those. Then I'll do the call of the articles, which is our usual going through and determining what is our consent agenda and what it is that we're going to be discussing. So basically, at the end of the call of the articles, we're going to have 3 basic buckets of articles. There'll be the uncalled articles. Any uncalled articles will be voted in accordance with its recommendation in the warrant as potentially amended or changed by motions from the Finance Committee that I'll read in at the beginning. So if you agree with the recommendation, there's no reason to call the article. It will be adopted in accordance with its recommendation. And on the off chance that there's an article that has a recommendation from, say, the Planning Board and the Finance Committee, then it would be the Planning Board motion that would prevail. If there's a comment from the Board of Selectmen, it's the Finance Committee motion that is the governing motion, and that's what you'd be voting on. So that's bucket number 1, the uncalled articles. Bucket number 2 are the uncalled, non-essential articles. So that's any article that hasn't been identified by the town as being necessary for town operation. We're going to have a motion to pass over the called non-essential articles. Those articles will go on the warrant for a future town meeting. The next town meeting, the select board has committed to put all of those called non-essential articles on the next warrant. That way, the sponsors will not be in the position of having to go out and get potentially 100 or even 10 additional signatures. And then the third bucket is the called essential articles. There are, I think, 28 or 29 essential articles Some of those will probably not be called and will be voted in that first bucket, but those that are called, we will have to discuss and vote on one by one. So if, as we go along, you have questions, I know this is all very, very new, please don't hesitate to stand and raise a point of order. I'm happy to explain, and I don't want anyone to be confused about what we're doing. So the first order of business, I will read the return of the warrant. Pursuant to Chapter 39, Section 10 of the General Laws of the Commonwealth and the warrant of January 22nd, 2020, I have notified and warned the inhabitants of the town of Nantucket qualified to vote in town affairs to appear at the times and places and for the purposes within mentioned by posting said notification on January 30, 2020 at the Stop and Shop on Pleasant Street, the Town and County Building at 816 Broad Street, and upon the bulletin boards at the corner of Main and Federal Streets in Syosset Square. Sworn to, under pains and penalties of perjury, James Perlman, January 30, 2020. So the second thing we're going to do is we're going to test out our electronic voting. So everyone should have gotten one of these nifty things. You only have to worry about the 1 and the 2. 1 is yes, 2 is no. When you make your vote, you hit the 1, it will tell you that it's been received. If for some reason you don't get that message, let us know. So let's just try a question. They're going to need just a moment. So you let me know. You let me know when you're ready. Okay. So we'll do one other thing while they're getting ready. You should have had, when you came in, under your seat, a bunch of materials are right next to your seat, and one of those things is Nantucket Town Meeting Traditions and Procedures, and those are the supplemental rules that we use in addition to town meeting time, which is our official town meeting guide under the charter. Town meeting time is this adorable little blue book that has been updated in the not too distant past. So normally I start by asking for your unanimous consent in adopting town meeting traditions and procedures as additional rules of the meeting. So I'm going to do that now. Thank you. Okay, so now we can do our sample vote. So here's the question you're going to vote on, because it has to be yes, no. Do you like ice cream? Now wait, a yes vote will adopt that question, a no vote will defeat that question. When the light goes on, that's when you know the voting is open. Voting is now open. So this is when you are going to be hitting your 1 or your 2. We've given ourselves 30 seconds. Is anyone having any issue with this? That's perfect. I'm sorry about your hatred of ice cream, but I'm happy that your voting thing works. So at the end of the 30 seconds, the light will go off, and I will get a vote. Oh, so very decisive. The vote on ice cream is yes 109, no 18. So, okay. I don't get abstentions. I would just know if someone did a clear and there were no clears. So, does that seem doable? Do you feel like you need to try it again? It's kind of simple, right? Okay. You don't?
3 is clear.
3 is clear. But if you hit the wrong thing, is that what you do? You hit,
You can use 3 to clear your vote. While the voting window is open,
okay,
record your last vote.
okay. So while you're voting, while the voting window is open, if you make a mistake, you hit number 3, and it clears it, and then you vote. You can vote again, and it will register whatever your last vote is during the voting window. Okay. So. Calling the articles will come after reading in these motions. And let me see, are you ready, Mary? Mary and Al Novissimo, who I couldn't do this meeting without probably, usually are here behind the curtain. They're working remotely, so we're going to see how this goes. Okay, so Article 4 is the first article that has a revised motion. I don't have a lot of room up here, so. Okay. So the first change in Article 4 is under airport aviation fuel. We're changing 5 million to 2 million. And that's it. On Article 6, I was supposed to mention, most of the revised motions have been up on the town website and published for a week or more. We had some last-minute additions because we were waiting as long as we could in the fiscal year just to see where things were going to shake out. So changes that have been made since the original posting of the motions is going to be shown in blue. So if you were studying the changes that were made that were posted on the town website, those are in yellow. The new changes are in blue. So Article 6 is now going to read, move that the amounts listed below be transferred between the various fiscal year 2020 accounts and expenditures as follows. Gas town vehicles salary, gas town vehicles operating $375,000. Mosquito control salary to mosquito control operating $164,391. From medical insurance to school department salaries, $65,000. From medical insurance to town administration salaries, $125,000. Strike from town administration operating to town administration salaries, $100,000. DPW salaries to DPW operating, $100,000. DPW salaries to town administration salaries, $140,000. Finance salaries to finance operating, $75,000. Finance salaries, natural resources salaries, $55,000. From finance salaries to town administration salaries, $75,000. From free cash to COVID-19 emergency fund, $600,000. From IT salaries to IT operating, $10,000. from plus salaries to harbor master salaries, $50,000. From finance salaries to human services salaries, $75,000. Okay, so then it changes the totals. So finance and operation, no, it doesn't change the totals, sorry. Now we're in Article 8. Article 8, finance and operations is going from payroll of $2,081,317 to $1,949,727, and the total budget is going to $2,441,937. Information systems / GIS payroll is going to $767,359. Total budget, $1,280,375. Planning and land use services, $1,692,678. Operating is being reduced to $291,100. Total budget, $1,983,778. Town administration operating is being reduced to $477,050. Total budget is going to $1,659,216. Town clerk operating is going to $62,100. Total budget, $319,651. So the subtotal is now $7,075,084. The operating total is $2,554,168, and the total budget is $9,629,252. $9,629,252. Under safety protection, the police department is going to $6,082,874 under salaries. Total budget, I skipped a line, sorry. Fire department is going, the operating expenses from is going to $301,300. Total budget to $3,182,889. Police department, salaries, $6,082,874. Total budget, $6,874,174. The subtotal there is now $8,964,463. Expenses, $1,265,600, and total $10,230,063. The next change is mosquito control. The middle column is going to $168,501. The total budget is also $168,501. Public Works, first column, $2,547,082. Total budget, $3,181,882. The subtotals here under salaries, $682. The middle column, $2,337,201, and the total budget, $4,891,883. Whoa, okay. Down just a little bit. You can go down. Yeah, there. So the total of department operating budgets, first column, $20,971,615. Middle column, $7,295,309. Far column, $28,266,924. Education salaries, $25,985,636. Total budget, $31,296,642. The subtotals, $26,535,636, and under total budget, $31,846,642. Grand total of general government operating, $47,507,251. Middle column, $12,606,315. Total, $60,113,566. Okay, under insurances, medical insurance is going up slightly to $13,375,877. Total budget, same number, $13,375,877. The subtotals, $13,870,336 in the first column. Total budget, $16,001,384. Grand total of operating budgets, $61,377,587. The middle column, $29,251,922. And total budget, $90,629,509. And then to meet these appropriations, the sum of $90,092,560 be raised and appropriated from the fiscal year 2021 tax levy and other general revenues of the town, and that $536,949 be transferred from free cash in the treasury of the town for one-time and operating expenses that are included in various department budgets. Budget unanimously recommended by the school committee for the school year, including the Nantucket Community School for fiscal year 2021, is $31,846,642. So that is Article 8. Article 10. Pretty far down. Whoops. Did some numbers change, Mary, in the total up above? Or is that just a correction? So the total is $2,113,800. It feels like something would have had to change up above. Do we take things? I see. Okay. All right. So if you can you just go up, back up so I can point out the things that are crossed out? Okay. So as we come down, the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The first 8 public works facilities are eliminated. It starts with 150,000 and ends with 250. That's all crossed out. Then we skip one, and the next 4 or 5 are crossed out as well. 6 maybe. Okay. And then the next There's an additional chunk of 5 Public Works Department things from $1 million to $750,000. Those are crossed out and eliminated. And we're in the school. The 3 things from the school are eliminated, 300,000, 2 300,000 items and a $65,000 item. Then the fire department, purchase of replacement self-contained breathing apparatus of $101,160. That's eliminated. The police marine costs associated with repairs and improvements at Loran Barracks, the costs associated with purchase of a second pump-out boat, the island-wide underground feasibility study, and the municipal building and facility security measure, those are all eliminated. So, Mr. Brown, I believe that addresses one of the amendments that you were proposing to Article 10. So that we then have 2 town administration items that are eliminated. One is costs associated with island-wide underground wiring feasibility study, $500,000, that's eliminated. And the costs associated with town-wide municipal building and facility security measures is also eliminated. And so I believe, Mr. Brown, that both of the things that you were concerned about have been addressed by the town. They were already eliminating them. Do you have a point of order?
No. May I ask a question?
May you what?
Ask a question, ma'am?
Sure.
So you scratched out 62.8, which was my amendment. I just don't see that crossed out. Information, cost of town computers and printers.
No, that's still there. Costs associated with town computers and printers is still there.
Yes, and then I also had the DPW facilities crossed out.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll deal with those when we get there.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I just
Okay. All right. So that brings the total to $2,113,800. And to meet this appropriation, that $637,800 be transferred from free cash in the treasury of the town so specified, that $346,000 be transferred from Article 10 of the 2015 annual town meeting, that $100,000 be transferred from the ambulance reserve fund, and that the treasurer, with the approval of the select board, be authorized to borrow $1,030,000 under and pursuant to General Laws, Chapter 44, Section 7(1), or any other enabling authority, and to issue bonds or notes of the town therefore. And all of these sources totaling $2,113,800. Okay. Article 15. Under airport payroll, it's changing to $1,487,310. Expenses, $4,442,990. Total budget, $5,930,300. Syosconset water expenses are going to $859,467. Total budget, $927,268. Wannacomet water payroll, $1,913,066. Expenses, $3,715,37, and total $5,628,103. So the total is $12,758,033 for payroll, $29,154,099 for expenses, and $41,912,132 for total FY 2021 budget. And the way this is being funded is being changed slightly. Under airport anticipated revenues for FY '21, The figure is going to $5,530,300. The sewer anticipated revenues is going to $8,770,408. Sewer retained earnings is going to $600,000. Syosconset Water FY21 anticipated revenues $753,046. Wannacomet Water fiscal year 21 anticipated revenues $4,605,000. And then just, hey Mary, just scratch that bottom number, that 41,000. And we'll have to just say that the total will be what it adds up to. Right? Because I don't have a total. Is that correct? You're sure? Okay, uncross it out, Mary, please. Yep. Okay. All right, so the total remains at $41,912,132. Okay, Article 16. Okay, under airport, costs associated with groundwater soil investigation, transfer $500,000 from certified retained earnings in the airport enterprise fund. So both columns change to $500,000. The subtotal of airport enterprise fund goes to $6,232,850. The sewer, we're now saying transfer $50,000 from Article 12 of the 2017 annual town meeting fiber optic communication lines to Surfside wastewater treatment facility. Transfer $5,000 from Article 12 of the 2018 annual town meeting replacement of pickup truck. And under costs associated with sewer design and construction in Sconset, the funding source is now transfer $250,000 from Article 12 of the 2018 annual town meeting Pine Valley pump station upgrades. Transfer $100,000 from Article 12 of the 2017 annual town meeting replacement of manholes Flora Street. Oops. Under sewer again, the costs associated with the Surfside wastewater treatment facility membrane upgrades is now changing to costs associated with capacity, maintenance, ops, and management, CMOM. Also under sewer, the funding source for the costs associated with upgrading Surfside are going to transfer $100,000 from Article 12 of the, what is that number supposed to be, do you think? It can't be 2028. We know. 2018, you think? Okay. 2018, Mary. Okay. 2018 annual town meeting, building foundation and utilities, transfer $25,000 from Article 12 of the 2016 annual town meeting replacement of the sludge truck. Also under sewer, costs associated with new force main from C Street pump station. Okay, authorize the treasurer with the approval of the select board to borrow $32 million pursuant to general laws, chapter 44, section 7 or 8, and or any other enabling authority for such purpose, including without limitation, all costs thereof is defined in general laws, chapter 29C, section 1, and to issue bonds and notes of the town therefore, and that while such bonds shall be general obligations of the town, it is intended that the principal and interest thereon shall be repaid from sewer enterprise fund revenues, state or federal grants, and other available funds of the sewer enterprise fund. that the treasurer, with the approval of the select board, is authorized to borrow all or a portion of such amount from the Massachusetts Clean Water Trust established pursuant to Chapter 29C, and in connection therewith to enter into a loan agreement and/or security agreement with the trust and otherwise to contract with the trust and the Department of Environmental Protection with respect to such loan and for any federal or state aid available for the project or for the financing thereof, and that the Select Board is authorized to enter into a project regulatory agreement with the Department of Environmental Protection to expend all funds available for the project and to take any other action necessary to carry out the project. Whoa. Okay, and to take any other action necessary to carry out the project. Sorry. I normally can read better than this. Any premium received by the town upon the sale of any bonds or notes approved by this vote, unless any such premium applied to the payment of the costs of issuance of such bonds or notes, may be applied to the payment of costs approved by this vote in accordance with General Laws, Chapter 44, Section 20, thereby reducing the amount authorized to be borrowed to pay such costs by a like amount. And that amount is $32 million. And it changes the subtotal of sewer enterprise fund to $43,876,000, total of all enterprise fund to $52,270,850. Article 17, we're going to strike airport retained earnings to salaries and wages and budget $50,000. That's stricken. Airport retained earnings to airport capital projects of $4,178.31. That's stricken. Airport retained earnings capital projects, $300,000 is stricken. It's the first one. It's the one from Article 12 of the 2016 Annual Town Meeting Employee Housing Review that's stricken. Under General Fund Free Cash, our Island Home Capital Project, Article 4 of 2015 Special Town Meeting, Design of New Facility, $500,000 is stricken. Added, our Island Home Salaries to our Island Home Enterprise Fund Operations, $300,000. General Fund Free Cash to Sewer Force Main Failure Project, $27,325.96. Sewer retained earnings to Sewer Department Enterprise Fund, $600,000. Is that it? Yep. Okay. That's it. So just to repeat myself endlessly, when we vote on those articles, we'll be voting in accordance with those amended motions. Okay, so now we're going to call the articles. A lot of the articles have already been called, so I will let you know when I get to those. And I'm going to start with the first 10 articles are considered essential. So what that means is any of those that are called will have to be discussed and debated. If you agree with the motion, you don't need to call the article. The only reason to call is if you want to make a change to the motion that's proposed. Article 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is being called by Mr. Brown. Okay. So 11, 12, 13, and 14 have been called by the town. Those were non-essential articles. Article 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Now we're into non-essential articles. Article 23. Articles 24, 25, 26, 27 are non-essential articles and have been called by the town. Article 28 and 29 30 is a non-essential article that's been called by the town. 31, 32, 33, 34. 35 has been called by Cliff Williams. 36 has also been called by Cliff Williams. 37, Andy Lowell. 38, Ms. Zoda. Not called, 39, now we're into zoning, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43. Yes? Number, which one? 43. Okay, Mr. Reed is called 43. '44 was called by Mr. Blackwell. 45, 46, 47, 48 was called by Mr. Cohen. 49, 50, 51, 52, 53. Now 54 called by Mr. Marks. 55, Mr. Von Kampen. 56, Mrs. Schreiber. 57, Mr. Driscoll. 58, Ms. Oliver. 59 is uncalled. 60. 61, Mr. Atherton. 62, not called. 63 and 64 have been called by Mr. Lowell. 65 and 66, that was Andy Lowell, by the way. 65, 66 have not been called. 67, Mr. McGrady? Yep, got you for 67. 68, Teresa Williams, not called. 69, 70, 71, 72. 73 has been called by Bruce Mandel. 74, 75, 76, 77, 78. 79, Tobias Glidden. 80, 81, 82, 83, 84. Oh, I'm sorry. 83 and 84 were called by Brian Swain. 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103. Which one, Ms. Charter? 101 and 102. Okay, hang on. So 101 and 102. Ms. Charter. $103 you're calling for the planning board? Oh, for the De Silvas, okay. 103, De Silva? Oh, David Silva, okay, sorry. The mask thing isn't helping, I don't think. Okay. 103, David Silva, okay. 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115. 116 was called by the town, and 117. Okay. So, I'll read the ones that aren't, I'll just read them again really quickly, and I'll identify which ones are not called and which ones have been called. By my count, there's only one essential article that's been called, and that's Article 10. So Articles 1 through 9, which were deemed essential, those are all uncalled. This is your last chance to call articles. I'm not inviting you to, but if you want to, this is your time. So just be sure to call out. Article 10 is called by Mr. Brown. That's an essential article, and we'll be discussing that one. Articles 11, 12, 13, and 14, called by the town, all non-essential. We're going to have a motion to pass those over. Not called, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, all not called. Yes? It's under what I just went over. It's the new motion that I read in at the beginning. You're calling 16, okay. All right. So not called 23, then called 24, 25, 26, 27, not called 28, 29, called 30, not called 31, 32, 33, 34, called 35, 36, 37, 38, not called 39, 40, 41, 42, called 43, 44, not called 45, 46, 47, called 48, not called 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, called 54, 55, 56, 57, 58. Yes? Which one? No. He called number 54. Sorry. Yeah, he called Cobble Court. Not called 59, 60, called 61, not called 62, called 63, 64, not called 65, 66, called 67, 68, not called 69, 70, 71, 72, called 73, not called 74, 75, 76. Yes? Debbie Nicholson, number 75? Okay. All right, so 75 has been called by Ms. Nicholson. Not called. 76, 77, 78. Mr. Rector, 78. Okay. Rector, 78. Oh, yes? Hold on. Let me get through this and then I'll come back to your question. Okay. So called 78, 79, not called 80, 81, 82, called 83, 84, not called 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100. Called 100 and 101 and 102 and 103. Not called 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115. Called 116, not called 117. Okay. Yes.
With 75, can we also look at the other two
You want to call the other bicycle articles? And can I have your name? Hilton? Okay, and you're calling in addition to? Okay, 76. Mr. Hilton. And 114, right? Okay. All right, so then going back to the question. So anything that's not called will be voted in accordance with its recommendation as printed in the warrant, as modified or amended by the changes that I read in at the beginning of the meeting. So which article did you have a question about? Article 31 is considered an essential article, and it has a positive recommendation from the Finance Committee. So if it is not called, it will be adopted in accordance with the Finance Committee's recommendation. Okay. So the first vote that we're going to take is going to be a vote on a motion. I'm ready. I just want to make sure I get them all. This would be on the uncalled articles. There it is. So the motion is going to be moved that the following articles be voted as recommended and/or amended by the Finance Committee, or as recommended and/or amended by the Planning Board, as printed in the Finance Committee report, with amendments brought forward during the course of the meeting. And let's just make sure we have them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 15. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 28, 29, 31, 32, 33, 34, 39, 40, 41, 42, 45, 46, 47, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 59, 60, 62, 65, 66, 69, 70, 71, 72, 74, 77, 80, 81, 82, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, and 117. Oops. Yeah, 114, Mary, you should take out. Okay. Yes? That's not what the letter said. That's not what the letter said. What's happening is, if you disagree with a recommendation, you have to call the article, and it will be brought forward at a future town meeting. Otherwise, it's going to be adopted tonight in accordance with its recommendation. Well, I don't think that's what the letter said, and I know that's not what I said in any of the forums, the letter to the editor. I don't know, we did 2 public forums, letter to the editor, et cetera. So, yes, there's a question in the back? Yeah. Well, hang on. You want to call 45? Okay. Well, can I have your name, please? Could you come just down to the microphone? Sorry, I just can't hear you, so.
Peter Chow.
Okay, how do you spell that, Mr. Chu?
Z is in zebra, S is in Sam, C-H-A-U.
Okay, and that's Article 45.
45.
Okay, anything else anyone wants to call? Yes. Right. Okay, does anyone have a copy of the letter? Oh, okay. Okay, here's the letter. June 8, 2020. Dear voter, the 2020 annual town meeting, ATM, originally scheduled for April 4, 2020, has been rescheduled for Thursday, June 25, 2020, beginning at 5 p.m. at the Nantucket High School. Postponed because of the COVID-19 pandemic, the Select Board and Town Administration have planned a pared down town meeting focused on critical issues needed to keep the town operating. You will be receiving your 2020 ATM warrant with motions very shortly. It is dated April 4, 2020 because it was already printed when the pandemic took over. Please keep the warrant if you are planning to attend town meeting and bring it with you. We will have extra warrants on hand. However, for sanitary purposes, it would be better if you brought yours with you. There are going to be some changes with town meeting this year as follows. Of the 117 articles on the warrant, the town has identified 29 of them to be essential to town operations. Some of these essential articles will require revised motions due to budget changes being implemented for 2021 because of the economic impact of COVID-19 and uncertainty with respect to revenue projections. These modifications are in the process of being completed, will be posted online when ready and projected on a screen at town meeting. The goal is to reduce the amount of time voters are together in the enclosed space. The usual call of the articles will occur at the beginning of the meeting, following review of the revised motions. Any uncalled articles will be voted on as recommended by the Finance Committee and/or Planning Board. It is anticipated that there will be a motion put forward by the Select Board to pass over any non-essential articles that are called, with a commitment to put those articles on the next special or annual town meeting warrant. That's the money paragraph here, I think. I mean, that's what it says, but anyway. We are working hard to ensure that the town meeting will be held as safely as possible. Safety measures will include required face coverings. They're lovely, don't you think? And designation of special entrance exit routes, hand sanitizing stations, seating with social distancing. There will be fewer seats available in the Mary P. Walker Auditorium and the NHS gym. We have been utilizing the Massachusetts Moderators Association Planning Guide for town meeting during a pandemic, as well as input from the town's public health director in our planning process. 2 pre-town meeting forums have been scheduled for Tuesday, June 9th, 5 p.m., and Thursday, June 18th, 5 p.m. on Zoom. We will discuss the plan for town meeting, as well as take questions. The forums will be moderated by the Nantucket Civic League. Information as to how to register to attend may be found at, and there's an address. The forums will be recorded and may also be viewed on the Nantucket Government TV YouTube channel. Please feel free to call 508-228-7255 with any questions about this, or email townmanager@nantucket-ma.gov. Thank you, C. Elizabeth Gibson, Town Manager. So, I mean, it very clearly says any uncalled articles will be voted on as recommended by the Finance Committee and/or Planning Board. Yes. Thank you. Okay. Anything else? So we'll go back to our motion, which I don't have on the floor yet, but we've had a call of Article 45. So that has been taken out. Do you feel confident that these are the uncalled articles? Does anyone have an article they want to call before we make this motion? Okay. This motion requires a 4/5 vote, so we will be very thrilled to have our electronic voting. Otherwise, we would be doing a hand count. This motion is made by the Finance Committee. Is that your motion, Ms. Crono? Thank you. Is there a second? Motion made and seconded. Motion is as printed on the screen. A yes vote, which is number 1, will adopt the article. A no vote, which is a number 2, will defeat the article. Voting is now open. So I wanted to mention, I don't think we're using the gym because I still see a couple of chairs open, but we did set the gym up to do this. We have a whole kind of mirror thing happening over there. And Shanta Blois Murphy very graciously offered to act as my deputy moderator. And I'm only sorry that she doesn't seem to be seeing a lot of action in the gym, but I hope that we'll be able to see her again at another meeting. So voting is now closed. And the vote is 135 yes, no 9. So, very quick math here. Hey, Mary, is Al doing the math? Mary? Is Al doing the math?
Oh, no, we didn't know you needed it.
I need math.
Sorry. 135?
135 and 9. Anyway, it's adopted, but we'll just, we want to get the math right, so. Okay, well, so while we're verifying the math, I'm going to say that is adopted by a 4/5 vote. we will go to our next motion. Now, our next motion is going to be a motion to pass over the called non-essential articles. The Select Board, as I said earlier, has committed to put those articles on the warrant for a future town meeting. So the motion is, I hereby move to pass over the following articles. Let's make sure we don't do any that are called. 11, 12, 13, 14, 24, 25, 26, 27, 30, 35, 36, 37, 38, 43, 44, 45, 48, no, 48 was called. And 45 was called. 48 and 45 were called. And so was 44. Oh yeah, these are all called. What are we talking about? These are all called. Duh. I'm sorry, Mary. So 45, 48, yep. 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 61, 63, 64, 67, 68, 73, 75, 76, 78, 79, 83, 84, 101, 102, 103, 114, and 116. So those are all the called non-essential articles. Recognize Don Holgate for the purpose of making that motion. Motion. Thank you. Is there a second? Motion is made and seconded. So a yes vote will adopt this motion. That's a number 1 on your device. A no vote will defeat that motion. That's a number 2. Voting will be open when the light comes on. Voting is now open.
Sarah,
Yes.
4-6 was 115.
What?
4-6 was 115.
Oh.
So you're called. So you're 135. Oh,
Right. Okay, voting is now closed. And on that motion, yes, 135, no, 1. That motion is adopted. Okay. Hey, Mary. Mary, what was the vote on that again? 135 to?
fine. 135, yes, 9, no.
135, 9.
So that's 144 votes, 415. I'm sorry, 4-5 is 150.
115, okay. Okay, so on that first motion, just to close the loop on that, 4/5 of that vote was 115, and we had 135 to 9, so that was adopted. On the second vote, which just required a majority, it was 135 to 1. So now we have 2 articles to discuss, being Articles 10, and 16. So we'll start with 10. 10 had a rather elaborate changed motion that I read in at the beginning, and that's what we'll be voting on. And I'll ask for your unanimous consent to waive the reading of that. Thank you. When you're leaving, please be sure to drop your voting devices. That's all. In the baskets outside. Otherwise, we'll be sending people to your home. Okay, so Article 10. As in the warrant, as amended by the amendments that I read in at the beginning of the meeting, I recognize the chair of the Finance Committee, Ms. Curnow, for the purpose of making that motion. Is there a second? Motion is made and seconded. I do have 2 amendments here from Mr. Brown. Should I go right to those? Or, okay. So the first one in Article 10 is under Public Works Facilities, where it's $346,000 for the costs associated with development of a town-wide facilities master plan. You want to strike that, right, Mr. Brown? Yes, ma'am. Okay, so that's your motion? Yes, ma'am. Is there a second? Okay. So you need to come down, you need to go right back behind you to the microphone and tell us why you want to make this particular. And once you're up there, why don't you stay kind of near that microphone so that we can do your other one. So you're striking that entirely and then making whatever changes down through the chart are necessary to make the math work, correct?
Yes, Madam Moderator.
Okay, so that motion's been made and seconded. Go ahead and give us your pitch.
Thank you, Madam Moderator, everybody here. So obviously we've been through the pandemic, et cetera, still going through it. Many small businesses and people have been hurt due to all this. We are still in uncertain times. By watching meetings, everybody thinks there might be another wave, we might get another shutdown. I just don't believe it's a responsible thing when we don't know the future to be spending that kind of money, and I think it could wait for another time. I don't really think it's necessary at the moment, and I think there's other ways to that we should just keep saving money during an emergency. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Turbin?
Madam Moderator, so the article, what is proposed there is actually a town-wide facility. Can you hear me now? Okay. So what's proposed in Article 10 that is being requested to be stricken is a proposal for a town-wide facilities master plan, which will undertake a complete review of all the facilities that the town owns. There's no money that's being raised. This is coming from an article that was already raised in 2015, which that $400,000 was originally appropriated for the design of a new town administration building at 2 fairgrounds. But since we're not in the process of pursuing that, we have asked to redirect this $346,000 to doing a complete town-wide facilities master plan to inform us on being able to better maintain and keep up the facilities that we have.
Okay. Yes. You have to, if you want to speak, unfortunately, you have to come down to the microphone. Now, is somebody... Yeah. Oh. Okay.
I just,
Thank you.
I'd like to comment that, this is Brooke Moore, by the way. I'd like to comment that this facilities master plan is critical to a lot of things that are in the pipeline in Nantucket, including affordable housing. And not doing this master plan could delay some affordable housing projects that would utilize town land and facilities. So I would be opposed to striking this from the budget. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Seeing no other hands, I think we could go to a vote on this motion. So a yes vote will adopt the main motion. Oh, I'm sorry, it's not on the main motion. We're voting on the amendment. The amendment to strike $346,000 from the Public Works facility. A yes vote will adopt that amendment, striking the $346,000 from the Public Works facilities. A no vote will defeat the amendment, and the article will remain as proposed by the Finance Committee. Voting will open when the light goes on. A yes is a 1, a no is a 2. Voting is open.
Sarah? Karen wanted me to tell you there are people.
Oh. Do you know how many? Are they masked? So there are people in the gym. I did not realize that. There are 2 people. But it's a rowdy crowd anyway. Okay, voting is now closed. On Mr. Brown's amendment, yes, 38, no, 94. That amendment is not adopted. Yes, yes, I can. Yes, 38, no, 94. So Mr. Brown had one other amendment he wanted to make. This one is under Information Systems. He's striking costs associated with replacement of town computers and printers. $62,800. Is that your motion, Mr. Brown?
Yes, Madam Moderator.
Is there a second? Motion is made and seconded. Mr. Brown?
Yes, thank you, Madam Moderator. Kind of goes along the same issue. Once again, things have been shut down. The town offices have been shut down. Nobody, to this, as I know of, can still enter the town offices to do regular businesses. I don't know exactly, because I don't work for the town. If we don't buy those computers, is the town going to shut down and nobody can work? From what I understand, a lot of people are just working from home anyways. Once again, I'm not a computer expert. I'm sure that the new computers would be wonderful, but do we need them? And I know we're only talking $62,000 on a huge budget, but all money counts. That could be a couple of the COVID officers that you guys have hired or are hiring. There's, it's real money. $10,000 is real money. And so I just ask that we strike that amount down. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Turbot?
Moderator. To that point about the pandemic, the town is invested, as the comment was made, that many people are working from home. This 62,000 is
I think you've got to get closer to the mic, Brian.
Okay. The 62,800 is an annual capital amount that is in just about every single year of the capital plan for replacement and upgrade of the infrastructure, being the computers and the printers that all of town employees use. And as the comment was made by the previous speaker, with relationship to the pandemic, there are town employees that are working from home, and this money will help support the infrastructure upgrades necessary to continue that for however long it's deemed necessary, as well as purchasing additional infrastructure, in so much as laptops for the employees to be able to continue to work either remotely or in the office. So we would ask that they be considered to continue with that program.
Thank you. Is there any, Mr. Brown, a follow-up?
Yes, I wonder if I could ask a question to, well, anybody in the town through you, madam. When will the town be open to the public? And once again, I go back to, if this is an every year thing, we're buying new computers, I go back to the same thing. Are we planning on not opening the town buildings? And I guess that would be a question I would maybe like to raise to somebody if they might know that.
Yes, Ms. Gibson. That microphone hasn't been. Sorry. That's the universal microphone cleaning symbol. Thank you.
The town offices are open for business. The public is not coming in at this point, but we are regularly doing business in all offices. Some offices, in fact, are open, culture and tourism for one, public safety building for another. People can make appointments with many of the offices. And we don't have a date yet. A lot of towns don't have a date yet. We've been updating the board every week on the town office situation for probably 3 months now. We're hoping that sometime perhaps before the end of the summer, maybe mid-July-ish is where we're talking about right now, but we don't have a specific date at this time.
Okay. All right, so on Mr. Brown's motion to amend Article 10 by striking information system costs associated with the replacement of town computers and printers, $62,800. A yes vote will adopt that motion to amend. A no vote will defeat Mr. Brown's motion to amend. Voting will be open when the light comes on. Voting is now open. Okay, voting is closed. And on that motion, yes 30, no 97. That is not adopted. Okay, Article 16. Do you want me to read the 116 motion? It says printed. Oh, duh. Thank you. I'm getting ahead of myself here. You can tell I'm anxious to get us all out of this room. So, okay, on the main motion on Article 10, a yes vote will adopt the motion as amended and read in at the beginning of the meeting. Yes? You have to come down to the microphone if you could.
On the public
And
work,
could you identify yourself?
Victoria Waterhouse.
Thank you.
On the public works transportation for the phased sidewalk improvement program, what does that entail? And what sidewalks, is there a written plan that,
Do you want to answer that? Is he here? Is that Rob? Okay. Sorry, you know, when you all have your masks on, it's very hard to tell who's who.
Good evening, Rob McNeil, DPW. There is a written plan. This sidewalk money would continue with that plan. The next project in the mix is Easy Street, and then to turn the corner and go Lower Broad. It also involves a number of other sidewalks in the downtown area. So
is it mostly downtown?
that's the primary focus of the program, yes.
Okay, is Sparks Avenue any part of that plan?
That's an entirely separate project.
Okay, that's all I needed to know.
Thank you. Anything further on Article 10 before we vote on the main motion? Okay, so the vote, a yes vote will adopt the Finance Committee's motion with the amendments read in at the beginning of the meeting. A no vote will defeat that motion. A yes is a 1, a no is a 2. Voting opens when the light comes on. Voting is now open. Can you guys do a 2/3 vote for me on this? This Article 10 does require a 2/3 vote. Voting is now closed. Yes, 112, no, 14. That is adopted. Okay. Now, Article 16. Article 16, Enterprise Funds Capital Expenditures. The motion of the Finance Committee is as printed in the warrant with the amendments that I read in at the beginning of the meeting. I recognize, and I'd ask for your unanimous consent to waive the reading of that again. Thank you. And I recognize Ms. Curnow, the Chair of the Finance Committee, for the purpose of making that motion. Is there a second? Motion is made and seconded. Mr. McGrady?
Yes, Madam Moderator. I reviewed the whole thing in the 16, and in every instance, the Finance Committee appears to be doing their level best to make sure that we stay within our budget. Each unit asked for a certain amount of money. The Finance Committee reviewed their request, and they came in a little under, which is understandable this time of the year, particularly this year. Except when you get to the end. The very last article, Sewer Department didn't ask for anything. The Finance Committee said, we're going to give you $32 million. And they explained what they wanted to spend it on. But since the Sewer Department didn't ask for it, I'd like to make an amendment that that figure be reduced to 0.
So you want to strike the 32 million?
I want to amend the figure, $32 million, to $0.
Okay. All right, is there a second? Okay, that motion is made and seconded. You've kind of already had your say about it. Do you have anything more you want to add?
No.
Okay.
Thank you.
Then, Mr. Turbot, I think we'll explain where this came from and why it's here.
So this article has come up because, as everybody remembers, in January of 2018, we had the catastrophic failure of one of the two sewer force mains that leaves the C Street pump station. At last year's town meeting, we authorized $2.5 million for the design and bidding services of a new sewer force main to leave the C Street pumping station and travel to the Surfside wastewater treatment facility. During the course of the last year, we have put in an application with the state revolving fund for a low interest loan at a lower rate than we would be able to borrow on our own for the money to construct the new sewer force main. We were notified very late in the process, running on the run-up to what would have been the annual town meeting, that we had been approved for that particular application for the loan. When we discussed it with the state, they had indicated that they would allow us to consider appropriating the money at a later date prior to the beginning of October, when the final applications and designs are due. Given the fact that we are not entirely sure if we will actually have a special town meeting, we need to have this appropriation in hand to complete the rest of the application process with the state and be able to go out to, after the design is done, to bid and award for a contract to replace the sewer force main that failed in January of 2018. So all this is doing now is authorizing the funding, which we would then be able to complete the application process. And again, we would be borrowing at a substantially lower rate through the state revolving loan program than we would borrow on our own in the open market. So that's why this came forward at this time. It had been intended that if we were going to have a special before October, that we would have put it on that meeting. But given the uncertainty, we need to put this on to be able to continue that process and do the best to leverage the lowest cost to the taxpayers and the rate users.
Thank you. Is there anything further on Mr. McGrady's amendment? Mr. McGrady?
Madam Administrator, it sounds almost like we're putting the cart before the horse here. We want the money, and we'll get them to make the plans afterwards. This money's not going to come back from the state. They're not going to give us the money to do this. $32 million is a lot of money, and I still stand by what I said. Let's go back to zero and let the sewer department ask for what they want.
Okay. So on Mr. McGrady's amendment, a yes vote will adopt the amendment, striking the $32 million from Article 16. A no vote will defeat that amendment. It's 1 for yes, 2 for no. Voting is open when the light comes on. Voting is now open. It does require a 2/3 vote. No, it's an amendment, it's a majority, but the article itself requires a 2/3. Voting is now closed. The amendment requires a majority vote. Yes, 30, no, 96. The amendment is not adopted. Is there any further discussion on Article 16? We're now voting on Article 16 as published in the warrant, as amended by the Finance Committee motion that I read in at the beginning of the meeting. A yes vote will adopt that motion. A no vote will defeat it. Yes is 1, no is 2, and voting is open when the light comes on. Voting is now open. And this does require a 2/3 vote. Okay, so the vote on Article 16 yes 104, no 20. That is adopted because 2/3 is 82. Okay. So I think I have one final motion, unless anyone else has any business they want to bring up. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a motion to dissolve, and then, let's see, the people in the back, if you could maintain your distance and just go out the back doors. I think that's Jim Perlman in that mask, but it's hard to tell. You can go out that way. The people in the front, if you could, if you're able, go up the stairs, you can go out that other door. But otherwise, just be sure, don't bunch up. For heaven's sakes, don't talk to each other or anything like that. So I'm going to recognize Don Hill-Holgate, Chair of the Board of Selectmen, for a motion to dissolve the 2020 annual town meeting. Is there a second? Motion made and seconded. Anyone opposed? I'm going to call that a unanimous vote. Thank you very much. As you're filing out, because I know it's going to take a while because you're going to be so careful, I want to thank everyone who worked so hard. It was a lot of work to pull this meeting together in the time that they had available. Oh, and as you go out, just remember, there are baskets, people collecting your devices, so please drop them. Well, all right. Hey, did anyone like the electronic voting? Okay. Did anyone really hate it and wish we would never do it again ever in our lifetime? Okay. I see.